The best I can do to local investors is by bringing more foreign investors. And I'll explain why I'm saying that. So first of all, thank you for having me. Look, if you look back at the development of most of the countries who have gone through the cycle that we have gone through, let's take Singapore as an example. We always talk about Singapore. I used to be in that country. The FDI to GDP ratio in Singapore is roughly 30%. In our case, it's less than 1%. So there is no reason to think that in our country, foreign investors are looked after very well, and the local investors are just not being looked after. So everything that the government has done historically, and I'm pretty sure in future, will always have in account the contribution of the local investors. At the end of the day, we've said this before, and I'm very happy to repeat, and I think we probably need to repeat this many, many times for people to digest the idea that it's not about the dollar investment, it is about the number of jobs we create. So whether it's a local investor or it's a foreign investor, as long as the investors are creating jobs, are creating employment, we just need to, as a government, need to focus on that and try to facilitate them in doing more business in this country. Now, during the summit, we did share a set of reform ideas that we are trying to undertake by the end of the year to make things or investment climate better for our investors. So I'll give you some examples which I do think that doesn't necessarily impact only the local investors, only the foreign investors, but also local investors. So examples being the optimization of economic zones. We are cutting them down. As you have probably heard, we are going from 100 to only 5. The example of trying to create a starter pack. So to start business in Bangladesh, the lowest number of licenses you need is 12. The highest, I think we have found out, is roughly about 83. So what we're trying to do is to create either a starter pack. By clicking in one electronic form, you get the basic 6 or 8 or 12 licenses done straight away, instead of having to go to City Corporation for trade license, to BIDA for registration, and another organization for something else. You fill up one digital form, it goes to all these agencies behind the scenes and comes back to you. So, thank you. So, and it sounds very easy to say that we're going to do it. I can tell you that how the execution is the most difficult part in this. But some of these solutions actually apply to both local investors and to foreign investors. So, for government, it should not matter whether the investment is coming from local or foreign. The part where I do think there is a difference is the fact that in the investor life cycle or journey, the local investors are quite far ahead. For a foreign investor, they first need to know what Bangladesh is about. That was the investment summit's idea. To change the narrative, if you Google Bangladesh, you get very, very negative view of what Bangladesh looks like. We are trying to bring them here to show them what Bangladesh is all about. The second piece, navigating through Bangladesh's system, knowing how to speak to your counterparty, your interlocutor, the government officials. Local investors have a natural advantage because of the language and because of the fact that they've grown up here. The foreign investors don't have it. I'm sure you have met a lot of foreigners in your tri-state life, and most of these cases, I'm sure you understand that the way they look at things are very different the way we look at things. So there is a bit more that we as a government need to do to help the foreign investor get to the same position as local investor. And therefore, optically, it feels like we're doing more for foreign investors. At the end of the day, for me, it doesn't really matter.